So child support is the legal obligation every parent has to provide financially for their children. And the two types of child support are table child support and special and extraordinary expenses, or what's commonly referred to as Section 7 expenses. Table child support is designed to cover the day-to-day expenses of raising a child. So for example, their clothing, groceries, and basic extracurriculars. Section 7 expenses are paid in addition to the table child support, and Section 7 expenses are defined as those expenses that are necessary and in a child's best interests, and they're reasonable, taking into account parents' means and the standard of living prior to separation. Parents can veer from the child support guidelines in limited situations. The child support guidelines were designed with the principle that the courts and parents should be provided with a consistent set of rules for determining child support. They took a lot of time to develop. Each province has its own guidelines that looks at the cost of raising a child, the standard of living, the tax rate in that province. The intention is to provide that predictability and same level of support for children. So it's very rare for parents to be able to veer from the child support guidelines. There are some limited exceptions. Examples of some of those exceptions include if a parent earns over $150,000, the guideline amount may or may not be appropriate. If children are over the age of majority, for example, if a paying parent is a step parent. When does one stop paying child support? It's not so easy as simply saying that child support ends when a child is 18. A lot of people have that misconception. If you have a separation agreement or an order in place, that may tell you when child support stops. So for example, a lot of parties agree that child support will end at a certain age or on the completion of a degree. If parties don't have those arrangements in place or they don't agree, then the legislation guides them as to when child support ends. And if parties are married or have been married, they are seeking child support under the Divorce Act, and the Divorce Act says that parents will continue to provide support for a child under the age of majority that has not been able to withdraw from their care, or over their age of majority if they're unable to be self-supporting for reasons due to illness or disability or other cause. If a parent avoids his or her child support obligation, the first step is to either obtain a separation agreement or a court order if you don't have one. If you do have either a separation agreement or court order, then that can be sent over to the Family Responsibility Office, otherwise known as FRO, for enforcement. The FRO can start enforcing that agreement or order, and generally what they will do is they will garnish a payer's salary. They can request that a passport is suspended, a driver's license can be suspended.